What's up, you guys? Finally got the final piece to making my EX30 the wheel that I've always wanted. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know that one of the things that I've always wanted, but the linkage system is not the best, was a good linkage for the EX30. That was one of the weak sides. The other one was the tire. I definitely would prefer to have a Michelin on here. Now the tire, I went ahead and changed because I got a flat on the original. So I put a new Michelin tire on here. I got a little bit of footage I'll include in here, changing that tire out. But now I have the final piece, which is the linkage. The linkage, that is going to make this thing what I really want it to be. I'm so sick of these Begode shocks that are leaking, losing air. Yes, there is a possibility of changing the shock and using the original linkage, but I've been just running into struggles from different shocks not working with the original linkage. I'll try to show you a little bit of video on that as well, but I may not have the time to do so. I really want to get this linkage on, and all that extra B-roll is taken away from me riding this thing. So let me show you what I got. All right, so this is a package that just came in the mail from my man Loc Vo. He is the one that is producing and selling these linkages. Let me show you what we got here. Looks like it's all the washers and things like that. He produces his own mud guard. Yeah, gotta figure that one out, but it's better than the one that came stock with it. Great. Oh, this is nice. Nice aluminum. Fairly lightweight. All right, so now I've laid it out, everything that comes in the Loc Vo kit. So, got a couple linkages for short one, long one, all made out of aluminum. Great material. It gives you a rod. You get a couple of these spacers in here, long ones. Get a couple of medium-sized spacers, shorter ones. You get some of these smaller spacers. You get these, which I'm not exactly sure what they're for. And then you get some of these. These are all 3D printed material here. And then you get some more of these little washers. These are all metal. And then several of these, which I'm not sure what they're for. No instructions provided, but he has made a video for us to watch. We got some zip ties. And again, we have this 3D printed, nice material, real flexible, 3D printed mud guard. So now I just gotta figure out how to get this thing on. So step one is taking my baby apart, and then I'll watch Loc Vo's video. All right, so here is the EX30 linkage. Now I don't know if you guys can see here, but right in there, that's leakage. That's where it's leaking oil out of the shock, which has been the biggest problem with these shocks, is that they just don't hold the air or the oil. Now, a lot of that could be because of the fact that you have to put the pressure up to excessive amounts, such as 250 or above, based on your weight. But, and that could be because the linkage is poorly designed. So that's what Loc Vo has helped me out with, designing a linkage that should work much better. Now, some of you might say, well, why don't you just change the shock? Or why don't you just, you know, to a better shock coil or air? And let me show you some of the problems I ran into when trying to do that. All right, here are the last two shocks that out of many that I've already attempted to install on the stock linkage. These are the two that I've decided to keep. They're both 200 millimeters, not 190 millimeters. So let me just go through the problems with these. At 200 millimeters, you won't be able to get them on to this last linkage because they are like 2 millimeters too long when they have air in them. So the reason that you can do it with the Begode shock is because you can actually release the air out and then compress it. With this particular one, the problem with it is it is an air shock, so you should be able to do the same thing as you did with the Begode, but because of where the air valve is on there, when this is in here, the air valve is like this. So when it goes deep in there, you can't access the air valve. So I can't actually put air in it with this shock with the original linkage. It's not wide enough in between there, so it makes contact with it. So unfortunately, this one didn't work. As you can see, where is it here? It's kind of been grinding up against the linkage. I'm having with this, which is a coil spring 200 millimeter. Well, with this one, I can't get it on because once you get it in there, like I said, here, there's probably about 2 millimeters too far out. So then I would have to compress it in order to get this rod here. In order to get this rod to go through the alignment, I would have to compress it. And this is a 1,000-pound coil. Compressing it is not easy. So I couldn't use this at 200. I could have got one at a 190, but I didn't want to lose travel. All right, so here's that oil I was telling you about. This is actually one from a master that Alien Rides gave me. Yeah, this thing is leaking. It's leaking. All right, turned out to be a little more intense than I thought it was. I had to get this top rod out, which needed the entire seat area removed, as well as the plastic tray that covers the speedometer. So all that had to get removed in order to get this rod out, that top one that goes all the way in the back up at the top there. So linkage is completely removed. We are ready for the install of the new one. All right, so I've been following Loc Vo's video install, which was actually on the master, so things could be slightly different. But where he didn't really go into detail was up here. Now in the video he says to use the spacer that he included, as well as the one of these bolts here that he includes in his kit. So I did that, and that was perfect, worked fine. But what he did discuss was when you get into here, let's see if I can get some light in there, this part here, what do we do with this? So now what I've noticed is that in the kit he included these things here, and I think these are supposed to go on top of that because there was a lot of space. So let me show you. So let's see here. I put these those 3D printed washers here as you can see right on the outside of the brackets, between the bracket and the linkage. That wasn't discussed in the video. Again, he was on the master, so they may not need that, but this is the EX30 kit that he sent me, and I think that's needed. All right, you guys, here's the linkage that Loc Vo has created and designed and is selling. Nice linkage. What I like about this one over the EMA is that this one is aluminum. Although the EMA would be lighter with carbon fiber, if you were to go down on a hard fall, that one would break. Carbon fiber does not bend, it just breaks. And because it is like finding a unicorn, getting an EMA linkage, I don't want something that would break that's difficult to get a hold of another. But what Loc Vo did, he created this masterpiece, and you can get it easily. Thanks, Loc. So I've been riding about 16 miles with this TVO linkage from Loc Vo, and I gotta say, I'm loving this thing. It's allowing me to put any shock that I choose on here, as long as it's I believe it was 200 to 210 millimeters. Don't quote me on that. But essentially I can put air shock, coil, you know, there doesn't seem to be very many limits to this linkage. Unlike the Begode shock, where I struggle with every type of shock to put on other than the stock Begode shock. This thing, it's plush, but it's not too soft. And a lot of that, of course, is due to the shock itself. So I didn't want anything that was squishy and bouncy. I wanted it to be somewhat stiff, yet pliable. And this is exactly what I got. Man, his stuff is good. His stuff is good. So this is my first ride on it. I'm really liking it, and I'll show you a little bit of what I've been able to experience with it. So if you guys are interested in the linkage for your Master, Master Pro, EX30, and I believe a T4, then hit your boy Loc Vo up for this TVO linkage. But this is all aluminum, great manufacturing, solid material, and I'm loving this thing. I'm sure you will too. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and always ride safe. And yeah, I don't have a helmet on because I'm only riding 5 miles per hour while I talk to you guys, so I don't want to hear none of that in the comments. Take it easy.